Good morning. My name's Alicia Foley and I would like to welcome you to our first ever live Q&A webinar on Zoom. Thank you for joining us if you are watching us live. It's really good to have you here and I hope that you're keeping safe and well. I'm going to go through a few things in a minute and tell you about the running order of the session, and in a moment everybody's going to introduce themselves. So the last 6 months have presented each and every single one of us with tremendous challenges, and it's been a hard time for all of us, and as a result of that we're looking at new ways of communicating with our customers and working with our customers, and engaging with you and listening to your views and finding out what's going on for you. So today's webinar is our first step on that journey, and so this is the first time we've ever done anything like this. So please bear with us if we have some technical issues throughout the session, but it's really good that you're all here. So I've had a question from one of the participants already. So you won't be able to turn your camera on this morning, but you will be able to see all the panelists. And I'll talk you through how to use the tools to speak to us as we go through the session. Okay. So there are quite a few tools that you can use, and there will be some buttons on the bottom of your screen. Won't be a moment. And there'll be one that says Q&A, and if you click on that box you'll be able to send us some questions through the Q&A button. So we realise that as well that you might have some specific issues relating to specific addresses that you want to tell us about today. So I would ask that if you want to tell us about a specific address that you use the chat box, and message me privately, because we don't really want you to be sharing all your information. We don't know who's going to be on the call, and we don't want you to share your private information with anybody. So you can message me privately if it relates to a specific address, or you want us to get in touch with you afterwards. You can send me your email address or your telephone number, and we will contact you after the session. Also, just to let you know that today's session is being recorded, so if you miss something while we're going through, or you want to watch it back because it's very entertaining, then we'll be publishing a link on the website and people will be able to watch it again. We realise that not everybody can attend at this time, and when we do future ones we might do them at a different time as well. I think I've told you everything that I need to tell you today. I hope that we have a good session and that we get some good questions. We've already had some through. So the rest of the team are going to introduce themselves. As I said, my name's Alicia Foley. I'm the Community Investment Manager at Calico, and I'll pass you on to the next member.
Thank you, Alicia. Good morning, I'm Beth Gallagher and I am the Asset Manager. My team are responsible for devising and delivering improvements within Calico's 5,000 properties. The team also consists of gas engineers and electricians who are responsible for completing any repairs and safety checks within your home. This morning, I'm really keen to understand how our customers' priorities for investment in their homes aligns to ours. And I'm just going to hand over to Dawn.
Thank you, Beth. My name's Dawn Cardwell. I'm Neighbourhood Manager here at Calico. I've worked here for 14 years and I oversee the management of the neighbourhood management team and the caretaking teams. What do I want to get out of this morning? I want to hear what our customers think and understand their priorities, your priorities, which will help with future planning. And I'm handing over to Kelly, I think.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Kelly. I'm responsible for the income management team, and more recently, I've taken over responsibility for our repair team. Our repair team are different to Best Team. They carry out works on tenanted properties and void properties, and I'm looking forward to hearing all your feedback this morning. And I'm going to hand over to Sharon.
Good morning, everybody. I'm sorry my video isn't working. I do apologise, but thank you for your time. It's really nice to have you all online this morning. My role is a customer experience manager, and I'm based at the Centenary Court main office down in the town centre, and I manage the reception service and the contact centre service, and also the out of hours service if you ever called us overnight on a weekend. So my team look after all the phone calls, all the emails, and all the face-to-face services that we provide in reception. And what I want to get out today is just to listen to what our customers are saying about the service we provide, and I hope to be able to answer any questions that relate to the customer service and the contact centre team. Thank you very much. Hand you over to Mark.
Morning, everyone. My name's Mark Beach. I'm the Managing Director for Calico Homes. I started in the middle of May during lockdown, which was interesting. So feel relatively new, but I probably can't say that for much longer. And I was just looking forward to meeting some customers and hearing from what people have got to say today. So yeah, I've been excited about today's session. Shall I just go straight into my introduction, Alicia?
Yes, please.
Okay, I wanted to just start off by talking a little bit about the last few months and the future before we go into the customer Q&A. Alicia's talked a bit about some of this, but I wanted to say why this session was important for us today. You're important, so you know what you think is important. And Calico Homes' future and your future and your needs and your aspirations, it's important that we know what people want and what you think Calico should be delivering for you and other customers. I think it's also important today because the last few months have meant we haven't been able to do things in the way we sometimes have done in the past. So using new technology to speak to our customers is something that we'll continue to do in future. So hopefully this is the first of many of these sessions that we can deliver in future. Like Alicia said, please bear with us today. We haven't done this before, so it's a new experience for all of us. We had some interesting technical challenges, but I'm sure that will be the case in any kind of session like this that we deliver. But we're going to do our best, and please bear with us. We might not know the exact answers to every question people ask as well. We're going to do our best, but if there's something we're not 100% sure on, then we will, of course, go away and find out and come back to people. So I hope that's all right with everyone. So what can we say about the last 6 months? I think unexpected would probably be one word that I'd start on. You know, particularly in Burnley, which has got very high infection rates compared to the rest of the country. We know from the current experience that things are going to be difficult and challenging for some time to come. In March, I think every organisation, including housing organisations who are no different, were probably scrabbling around for the manual of what to do in these situations, and we had to do a lot of planning on the hoof initially. There wasn't really a script for this kind of thing, but as an organisation that really values its customers and the work that we do for customers and residents, Calico has done its best to keep delivering essential services for you over the last 6 months. So some of the things we've done, we've played a leading role in the Burnley Together partnership, and along with the council and other partners, that's helped to provide support to over 2,500 local residents. Amongst that, food parcels, medication, befriending, mental health support, and signposting to other agencies. We've continued to deliver emergency repairs, gas servicing, fire checks, and everything that we needed to do to keep customers safe in their homes during the lockdown period when other things were more restricted. We've successfully kept the contact centre going throughout, which has meant those staff have worked from home in challenging circumstances. And we've provided financial and money management advice to lots of customers who, some of whom have struggled during lockdown, and we know may continue to struggle in future. And that includes customers who might have been claiming universal credit for the first time as a result of the impacts of coronavirus. We've been in regular close contact with hundreds of more vulnerable customers, so examples would be from our independent living schemes to make sure that their needs were being met during lockdown, and obviously we've had to do that in new and different ways. We've carried on to deliver the work of our development programme during the pandemic. So, for example, we've been continuing to refurbish and re-let empty homes in the Burnley Wood area and made those homes available for lettings through the Be With Us platform. And we've continued to do investment work to other properties. Despite a brief interlude, we've carried on repairing and reletting our empty homes safely to new customers. ASB is something that one customer has asked questions about, and we know that during the lockdown people's patience has probably worn thin, and we have seen increased instance of antisocial behaviour and disturbances, but we have carried on working with partners such as the council and the police to take action against households that are repeatedly ignoring the rules and causing antisocial behaviour. Rent collection performance has been really strong, which is positive, and that means that the business is strong, and it means we have more money to deliver essential services for customers. I think finally, and it's something perhaps that customers won't see as much of, but really importantly, we've invested in technology and staff and focused on our staff's well-being. We recognise at Calico that if our staff can't work effectively and don't feel happy, that they can't deliver the best services for our customers. And our staff have done a fantastic job over the last 6 months delivering the services I've just gone through. So we are delivering all of our services now, albeit some things are being done differently, such as today. And in the main, that means there's less face-to-face contact with customers that we've done in the past and that we would probably like. But on the whole, services are being delivered well. We have had some challenges recently with contact centre services due to some impacts of coronavirus and staffing impacts, for which we apologise, but we're confident over the next few weeks that will get easier as staff numbers pick up again, and I know that that team's doing a fantastic job to deliver the service as best they can. I think we're really pleased about how the repairs service has restarted. We weren't doing the majority of repairs during lockdown for obvious reasons, but we've invested additional resources in staffing and material resources to get through that backlog as quickly as we can. Although we know there's more to do in future, getting through that backlog and getting ourselves on an even keel again is really important to us, and we know to customers. I think it's pleasing to know that anecdotally, customers have been pleased to see us in their homes again, carrying out those repairs. We're prioritising repairs in the backlog, so that means that some external works aren't yet happening, but we're putting plans in place to devise a programme to get those works completed. So, for example, some building work and guttering. And we aim to have the backlog completed, if we can, by Christmas, which would be a really positive step forward. Coronavirus is going to create plenty of challenges for our customers, we know that, and for Calico as an organisation. But I thought it was important just to say that we feel there's also opportunities that we're going to focus on in the next 12 to 18 months and beyond. So the government, for all the struggles that they are going through, undoubtedly at the moment, and some of the inconsistency around communication and changes in lockdown arrangements, we know that they're putting money into schemes to help people into training and employment opportunities, for example, placements. So the government's Kickstart scheme aims to get as many young people into placements and work as possible to try and mitigate some of the effects of the pandemic. So Calico Homes and Calico as a group will be doing as much as we can to work with that scheme to provide opportunities for local young people. I've mentioned the work that we do around financial inclusion and money advice, and our tenancy sustainment team are available and will continue to be to support customers experiencing financial hardship, and customers can contact us if they need any support confidentially, and we will of course do our best to help them. We want to review how we can deliver repairs better in future. We've made some improvements in recent months, but we want to review how we can do things even better in future, and also how we invest in our homes, you know, how we spend the money that we set aside for investment. So how we do both of those key pieces of work in a better way is something we're going to focus on in the next 6 to 12 months. We're reviewing how we advertise and let some of our homes, and we'll make improvements to our processes that will benefit lots of customers. Today we want to engage with you, our customers, to understand what you want from the future and what you want from Calico. And today is just the start of doing that in new and different ways. And we're going to continue to improve how we do that. We're also going to continue to improve how we respond to complaints and communicate with customers. Every organisation gets things wrong occasionally and makes mistakes, but we want to be able to learn better from those mistakes and change things in terms of the way we deliver services. And finally, we're investing further resources alongside our Burnley Together partners, because we want to make this into a longer term collaboration, not just an emergency response. And so that collaboration is going to focus on health and wellbeing outcomes, jobs, training opportunities, and community activities and support. Okay, so just finally, before we move on to the question and answer part of the session, I wanted to talk about the Views for Vouchers survey that we do annually to gather your views. This session's about us listening and acting on your feedback, and I felt it was really important to talk about some of the things that we'd implemented on the back of the last survey. So one of the biggest changes customers asked us for was improvements to the repairs and maintenance service. So in response, we've introduced new reporting to monitor how many jobs we complete first time for customers. We're updating the repairs reporting process so customers can get an appointment at the point of contact when they ring and speak to the contact centre. And as I mentioned, we're going to carry out a longer term improvement project that will look at all elements of the service and how we can improve that for customers. Customers were also very focused on how we make improvements to the condition of their homes, not just responsive repairs. So in the last year, we've continued to deliver our Brunshaw neighbourhood investment programme. So that's seen 86 homes benefit from external improvement works. There were some interruptions to that programme because of the lockdown, but that's up and running again and is continuing. We've carried out damp works in 161 homes, installed 278 new boilers, and we've done roof replacements and repairs to over 800 homes. Windows, we know, is something that customers have spoken to us about in the past, and doing more improvements to windows and window repairs. So we're planning to carry out window improvements to some neighbourhoods in the next 6 months. And I mentioned that we're reviewing and updating our asset management strategy in the next 6 months, which will help us have a longer term plan for how we invest that money, and also understand what customers are saying they need and they want to see in terms of home improvements. Finally, 10% of customers mentioned issues with communication or our customer service during the last survey. So we've introduced a new feedback is gold system and a new complaints process, and that's helping us to gather a lot more intelligence and insight about customer complaints, dissatisfaction, but also compliments to help us to learn from our mistakes and do things more effectively. And in the next 12 months, we're planning to carry out more improvements to our website and digital portal, so customers who want to can report things in that way more easily, as well as through the traditional methods of contact. So the next Views for Vouchers survey is due out soon, and we'd encourage as many of you as possible to complete it. Your views are really important, and that will be one way in which we gather that feedback. And I'll stop talking now, Alicia, because I've taken up plenty of time already.
Thank you, Mark. So that's great that we've been able to give you an update of what we did with the information that you gave us in the last Views for Vouchers survey. And as Mark mentioned, the new survey will be coming out soon, and we would really like you to look out for that. Because your views are important to us, and we spent quite a lot of time over the last 12 months really using what you tell us to look at how we shape services going forward. So please continue to complete that survey, and you can win up to £400 of shopping vouchers, so it's worth it just for the chance to win that. I think I'd be filling it in if I could. So we're going to move on to questions now. And like I said earlier, if you have got a question for the panelists today, please put it in the Q&A box, and we can have a look at that. But we have had some questions via email and through conversations that we've had with other customers. So I'm going to put the rest of the team on the spot a little bit now, and ask some questions. So our first question, I think this will be one for you to answer, Beth. And we had a question via email from Jade in Rose Hill, and Jade told us, I live in a Calico home in the Rose Hill area. A lot of other areas have had improvements made to the outside of their homes, and I'm wondering if and when the homes up Rose Hill will benefit from this. Rose Hill always seems to be forgotten about when it comes to improvements. So have you got anything that you can tell Jade, please, Beth?
Okay, thank you, Alicia. Thanks for the question, Jade. We're currently looking at a programme of window replacements, and Rose Hill's been identified as a priority area. So our technical officers are starting to complete surveys, and we'll be in contact with customers very soon to advise what work will be completed and when. So hopefully that answers your question. If you've got anything specific, then please feel free to drop us a line via our contact centre, and I can talk to you personally about any questions that you might have. Thank you.
Thank you, Beth. So we've just had a question to come through in the Q&A box from Christopher, who's asking, how do I go about entering the Cash for Questions survey? Christopher, this survey will be sent out to you in the post, and there will also be links to the survey on the website and through social media as well. So you can complete a paper copy and send it back to us, or you can complete it through electronic links through social media or the website. But every customer, every household is posted out a copy of the survey. So it will be arriving from, I would say, about the 18th of October. So look out for it from then. So the next question has come to us from a customer via social media, and it's actually a question for me. This is a question. I would like to know when Valley Street will open again. I would like to come and see other people face to face, as I felt lonely during lockdown, and I'm sure that there's lots and lots of people who feel like that and are missing the opportunities to see people face to face. So we have been working really hard at Valley Street to make it a safe place and look at how we can run groups again. Unless the guidelines change, and that does happen quite regularly, as we will, everybody knows, but unless the guidelines change, we will be starting to run activities from Valley Street week commencing the 2nd of November. So look out on the social media pages that are connected to the activities that you want to do at Valley Street, and it will tell you how to get involved, and the numbers and restrictions and how to book. So we're working really hard to create a safe environment where people can meet face to face, because we know how much that is valued by people. And actually everybody at Valley Street is missing having our customers come to see us as well. So it will be nice to see people again. I'll just have a little look what we've got. You're very welcome, Christopher. Christopher's just saying thank you for the answer to his question. So the next question that we've got is, I think there might be a few people who need to give some information to answer this question. So Suzanne contacted us by email to say Calico are building a lot of new homes, but what are they doing to look after the older ones? I think you should do more repairs and do them quicker to keep the older properties in a decent state. Can this be done? So I'm going to hand over to you first, Mark, to talk about how we decide about building new homes and developments and how that's funded.
Thank you. Well, Suzanne, the funding we get for new homes is funding we get through various bank agreements, so lending, and that is additional funding to the income we get through rents and service charge. So actually the repair services and the investment services get funded through that rent and service charge that customers pay, whereas to go out and build new homes, we have to access additional funding, and we get some grant as well from Homes England to help to subsidise the development of new homes, because often it's not viable to do that without that grant from government. So it's not really, in terms of investment repairs versus development, it's not really a choice of either or. You know, the funding streams are different in terms of how we approach those things. Do you want me to hand over to one of the others, Alicia?
Yes, please. Beth, do you want to talk a little bit more about the investment programme?
Yeah, thanks, Felicia. So our investment programme is devised over sort of a 30-year plan. So based on what Mark was saying about using obviously our rental income and service charges, we factor in lots of different sets of information to decide where we're going to spend money on investment. So we're looking at obviously a window programme over the next 6 months and probably longer term over the next 5 years. But it's a real challenge making sure that we sort of spend money in the right areas. So there'll be a lot more information to follow, but our investment plans sort of will be communicating very shortly. But like Mark is saying, it's different pots of money, and we use that based on a lot of information from our asset management system on where to spend that.
Thank you, Beth. Kelly, would you like to say something about how we're speeding up the way that we do repairs and the investment that your team are making into improving that service?
Yeah, sure. So as Mark said in his introduction, we did stop the service, and when we resumed, we had over 2,500 repairs to try and catch up on. We are doing our best to get round to everyone as quickly as we can. We've changed the way that we work. We are grouping repairs in the same neighbourhoods, so we are as efficient as we possibly can be. And we've also recruited some additional staff to help us catch up with the backlog. So hopefully you'll see things improving soon.
Thank you very much, Kelly. So the next question was sent to us anonymously via email, and this customer says, it's been hard being at home a lot more and trying to keep safe from coronavirus. Because I'm not getting out, I have noticed that there are people who are not following the rules on social distancing around where I live. I have seen parties with lots of people coming and going. Are Calico doing anything about this? So I think this is a question for you, Dawn.
Thank you, Alicia. I think, as Mark mentioned earlier, it's been really difficult for everybody getting used to being at home more. And we have all noticed much more general activity in our neighbourhoods during the lockdowns that we might not have noticed before. In terms of where people are not social distancing or following the rules on social distancing, we ask that this is reported to the police because that's what government guidelines tell us to do. Depending on what's happening, the police won't always attend, however, they will always give a log number and that will be followed up. The police have power to issue a fixed penalty notice if it's deemed to be appropriate in those particular circumstances. We have worked closely with our partners at the council and the police during lockdowns, and we have been partnered up issuing some community protection warnings for breaches of social distancing rules. If neighbours are causing a nuisance, we are able to deal with this as a breach of tenancy, and we ask that customers please tell us if you are experiencing any nuisance in your neighbourhood or any antisocial behaviour, so that we can then investigate that. Antisocial behaviour can be reported to us by telephone or by email, and all of those details are on our website. I hope that's answered that question.
Thank you, Dawn. That's brilliant. And I have another question here. So this is from Annette, one of our customers who I've seen while I've been out and about in the neighbourhood. And she's asked, what are the best ways to get in touch with Calico if you're not good with the internet? Is it open downtown? So I think this is something that Sharon can help us with.
Hello Annette, thanks very much for your question. Yeah, don't worry, if you're not okay with the internet, the best way to get in touch with us is over the telephone, to speak to somebody who can help. We're open at the moment from Monday to Friday from 8:45 till 5 p.m. But in addition to the phone, a few weeks ago the reception service opened. So if you are in town, we are open each morning from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Just be aware that we're closed in the afternoons at the moment, but our customers who've been in so far have told us that they like, you know, being able to pop into reception, you know, whilst they're out and about shopping in town. And they've told us that the reception service feels very welcoming and safe. Customers have been dropping off sort of tenancy related paperwork and making the rent and repairs enquiries. So if you are coming down, we have made some slight changes to the reception area. We've had to do that just to make it COVID secure and to allow us to deliver our services in a safe way. So we put a new meet and greet service in place. So that just means we'll just have to ask you a few questions about how we can help you before we show you to the correct area. And we've got some signage up, and we're asking people to wear a face covering and sanitise before entering. We put sanitiser products on the reception desk. And a bit like the banks and the supermarkets in the area, we're having just to limit the number of people in the reception area at any one time. But don't worry about that, we've got plenty of space, and our seating is now set out in a socially distanced way. So yeah, just please telephone us, or please pop down Monday to Friday between 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. and we'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sharon. If you've got any more questions, please do put them in the Q&A box. Those are the questions that we've had since we started advertising this session. So I think there's a couple more things to let you know about. As Mark mentioned earlier, Calico are playing a part in Burnley Together, which is the coronavirus support hub that was set up for the town. So if you are in need of any support or advice or help with anything, any aspect of your life that coronavirus has had an impact upon, then please do have a look at the Burnley Together website, or you can give the phone line a call on 686 402, and there'll be a customer advisor who's there to help and support you in a range of ways. It doesn't matter what it is, we'll always try to find the answers, even if we're not sure what they are there and then. The other thing to remind you about is that the Views for Vouchers survey will be coming out, and recently we had a survey about how coronavirus is impacting upon our customers, and we've had nearly 250 responses to that survey, and we're just starting to look at those results, and we will use those results to help us think about anything else that we might need to change, and how our partners in Burnley Together can support the needs of the community. So there'll be more things around that. So I've got a question here, and I think this might be one for you to answer, Kelly. And it says, hello, I'm worried about potential cuts to universal credit, which has been in the news. How will Calico help tenants who are affected?
Hi, so as Mark said, we have a tenancy sustainment team here at Calico who can support customers experiencing financial hardship. If you do have a change of income and you are struggling, the team can help with budgeting and accessing support via other agencies. So you can email the team or you can ring the general or 1282 number, and they'll be happy to provide that help and support.
Thank you, Kelly. Yeah, I think the message is that we are here to help and support you. And I know that I've spoken to customers who've worked with the tenancy sustainment team and found them really supportive and helpful. And they are there for our customers to help and support them in various ways with financial issues. So please, if you're ever struggling, please do ring us and get in touch so that we can help. So I've had a question from Claire, and Claire says, how are you approaching non-urgent repairs that were in the repairs programme prior to lockdown? And so I'm going to hand back to you again, Kelly, sorry.
Hi Claire, thanks for your question. In terms of the repair, as I said earlier, we came back to 2,500 repairs, and we thought the best and most efficient way to do it, to complete the repairs, was to group the repairs into neighbourhoods. So all the repairs have been grouped into neighbourhoods and resource deployed into those neighbourhoods until we've caught up on the backlog, which we are making good progress on.
Thank you very much. So we haven't currently got any more questions, but I wanted to know if any of our customers would like to speak directly to the panellists. If you want to raise your hand, I'll be happy to sort that out. Everybody's very quiet. I think everybody's a bit cautious using new ways of meeting and new ways of technology, and I know that we've all been a little bit nervous before the session started today, just not knowing what it's going to be like and who's going to be here. Mark's got his hand up, so you can speak, Mark, if you like.
Yeah, I mean, we're obviously booked in for quite a bit longer, but we don't want to just sit here and wait. So, you know, unless other customers want to throw any more questions out there, then I suggest, I'm going to put you all on the spot here a bit, but I won't make it too difficult. Just whilst we wait for any more questions, I suppose, you know, maybe just pick out one thing for your areas that you deliver that I think you're looking forward to in terms of change and improvement over the next 12 months, if you can. Who wants to go first?
Kelly's got her hand up.
I don't mind going first. So I am looking forward to working on a project to look at the repair service and look what we can change, and using customer feedback to make some improvements to the service. The aim is to deliver a quality service that customers are happy with. So I'm really looking forward to starting that work and seeing the end results of that work.
Thank you, Kelly. Beth's got her hand up. Do you want to go next, Beth?
Yeah, I'll go next. Thank you, Alicia. So I think for me, I'm most excited about looking at our asset management strategy and looking for more innovative and creative ways in which we manage our properties. So we've talked a lot about investments. We have a 30-year plan, but it's how about we can do things differently to make sure that we're meeting our customer needs and providing properties that people want to live in and we're proud of.
Thank you, Beth. Dawn?
I think for me, it's around working on a lettings project where we're going to review the way that we let properties. So part of that will be using some customer feedback from how we currently let properties. It's quite an exciting piece of work.
Thank you. Sharon?
Thank you. I am still here. I'm sorry you can't see me. Yeah, the next 12 months is going to be quite exciting. I think whilst we've been going through the COVID situation, it has forced us into more digital ways of working. We realise our customers still prefer the traditional methods, but we do have some developments to help customers view their rent balances and see future appointments online. We're going to be developing our customer portal much further. We've also got a new repairs appointment system. Kelly talked about some of the improvements that are coming, and early in the new year we should be able to offer more customers an appointment at the first point of contact. We want to be able to do immediate text and immediate email confirmations around appointments. We want our appointments reminders to give customers the option to cancel or rearrange an appointment. A lot of these processes may seem quite straightforward, but there's something that we're well into developing now, and we hope that that will improve our customer satisfaction and reduce lots of phone calls around appointments and how we communicate repairs appointments. So that's really exciting. And the other thing is we have a new feedback is gold system. We want to develop that further. We want to have greater insight to the areas of dissatisfaction and compliments from our customers, and we want to make it really easy for customers to report any problems in any way that they prefer, and we want to be able to resolve those problems quickly. So we're doing a lot of things in the background to make that happen, and that links into some new guidance that has been issued by the Housing Ombudsman around a complaints code. So we're going to be spending quite a bit of time in the next few months bringing our policies and procedures up to speed with that, in readiness for that going live next year. Yeah, so lots of things on the horizon. So, and you can ring us at any time. If there's any feedback that you want to share, just please contact us in the usual ways. But yeah, there's a lot happening and a lot to look forward to. So thank you.
Thank you. So I'll tell you.
Shall I have a go as well?
What, you
Alicia?
can have a go after me. I've been thinking
sorry,
of a
yeah.
list. So I'm going to tell you what I'm looking forward to. So I'm really looking forward to welcoming people back to Valley Street in a safe way. I'm looking forward to developing our partnership with the council around Burnley Wood Community Centre, and working with the local community to create a place that meets their needs. I'm also quite excited about doing more things like this because I'm a bit mad and I like it, and looking at new digital ways that we can engage with customers and expand the range of opportunities that we offer to you digitally to get your views too. And also I'm looking forward to working with all our partners across Burnley to help to develop Burnley Together into a service that is there for every resident of the borough, and joining all those different dots up to make a big picture that meets people's needs. So now I'll pass you over to Mark.
Sorry to jump in like that.
It's all right.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's some really exciting stuff there, and hopefully you will all agree on that as well. I think for me, it was quite odd joining during lockdown, and so I've not really had the opportunity to see as much of Burnley and our neighbourhoods and just meet as many customers as I probably would have done originally. So I think for me, I'm excited about the prospect of being able to do that and hear from people more directly over the next 12 months. So that's what I'll be looking forward to.
Okay, thank you, Mark. So one of the participants on the call is Leroy, who is a neighbourhood rep for Calico and also works in Rose Hill. He's let us know that at Rose Hill Baptist Church they've launched a fortnightly cafe on Thursdays from 11 till 1. So if you do live in Rose Hill, that might be something that you might like to go to. And the next dates for that are the 15th and the 29th of October. So we haven't had any further questions, and we haven't taken up the full time, but I think it's been a really good starter for 10, and a learning experience for us all. So thank you to those of you who have joined us today. We hope that you've learned something, you've had your questions answered if you'd sent a question in, and that it's been a positive experience with my crazy ways. So we will say thank you and goodbye, and the session will be available as a link. We've been recording the session so you can watch it at any time if you missed a little bit at the start, or you forget something. And as Sharon said earlier, please do contact us at any time through the phone lines, via email. We do want to communicate with you as much as possible, and if you've got any questions, hopefully we're the right people to answer those questions. So take care, stay safe, and we'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.